In August 2019, a quiet Pennsylvania home became the site of a shocking crime. Margaret Sumney, 67, was found murdered, her death brutal and senseless. But the true horror emerged when police searched her son, David's phone. They uncovered 277 selfies David took with his mother's body and spanning several days. Some photos were close-ups. Others showed him grinning beside her. This wasn't a moment of madness. It was a calculated, chilling display. The images stunned investigators and devastated Margaret's family. For them, the photos weren't just evidence. They were a cruel attack on her memory. David's selfies became the centerpiece of the case, revealing a disturbing lack of humanity. The family described the images as trophies, proof that David wasn't grieving, he was celebrating. The discovery forced everyone to ask, what kind of person does this? The answer, it seemed, lay at the intersection of technology, personality, and evil. The case was no longer just about murder. It was about understanding a monstrous act. The digital record made the crime impossible to forget. For police, family, and the public, the horror was now permanent. The photos told a story of cruelty that went far beyond violence. Margaret's loved ones were left with a new kind of suffering, one that would haunt them forever. The question remained, how could a son do this to his own mother? Experts call it digital haunting, technology preserving trauma that never fades. For the Sumney family, the 277 selfies became a permanent digital shadow. Every memory of Margaret was now tainted by David's horrific photos. Criminologists saw a disturbing trend, killers using selfies to document their crimes. They linked this to narcissism, a need for attention and control, even in death. For some, the crime isn't enough. The digital record is a twisted trophy. David claimed addiction and grief drove him, but prosecutors saw only pride in his photos. Smiling beside his victim, David wasn't asking for forgiveness. He was boasting. The selfies weren't a cry for help. They were a display of power. The digital evidence painted a picture of arrogance, not remorse. The court heard both sides, a broken man versus a cold, calculating killer. But the images spoke louder than any defense. The family's pain was magnified by the knowledge that these photos could never be erased. Technology had turned their private tragedy into a public nightmare. The case became a chilling example of how digital tools can deepen suffering. The haunting wasn't just emotional, it was technological, and it would never truly end. The Sumney case forced society to confront the dark side of our digital age. In the end, the selfies were more than evidence. They were a curse. Margaret's family faced unimaginable pain in court. They listened to the details of her death and the horror of the selfies.
A voicemail from Margaret to David, her final plea, echoed in the courtroom.
The family's grief was made public, their tragedy broadcast for all to see. David took a plea deal for third-degree murder, avoiding a full trial. The family was devastated, believing the brutality deserved the harshest charge. They begged the judge to reject the deal, but their pleas were denied. In August 2023, David was sentenced to 20 to 40 years in prison. For Margaret's loved ones, it felt like justice denied. A sentence far too short. The photos continued to haunt them, a constant reminder of their loss. They believed David had not only killed his mother, but tried to destroy her memory. The legal outcome left the family wounded and angry. Their fight for justice ended with a sense of betrayal. The Sumney case is a grim warning from the digital age. Technology, meant to connect us, became a tool for horror. A smartphone turned a private tragedy into a permanent nightmare. The case forces us to consider how digital tools can both heal and harm. While technology can help us grieve and remember, it can also deepen pain. The line between honoring and exploiting memory is thin. The Sumney case shows the dangers of narcissism and the limits of justice. It reminds us to use technology with care and respect, especially in grief. As we live more of our lives online, we must choose to honor, not defile, those we've lost. The story is a call for responsibility in the digital world. In the end, we must decide: will technology help us heal or haunt us forever?